Okay, guys, let's go right into roasting some of our subscribers' YouTube channels so you can learn from their mistakes and improve your own YouTube channel so you can bring in more revenue, more profit, more bottom line, and achieve your financial objectives. So, Josh, you ready to dive right in?
Let's do it.
Do a screen share. We're going to go over to our community. So that's when I say subscribers. So if you want to join us over there, it's RC Biz Accelerator free community. And when I say roast, we're not going to really roast them. We're just going to give them some constructive criticism or highlight some things they're doing well. So the first is Nico. He's on the chopping block. Nico, you probably didn't even realize that you were signing up for this. But no, we're going to be nice and we're going to help you out a lot here. So he says, need feedback on what to focus on channel I launched 1 month ago. Okay. So let's see. I created a channel about a year ago. Okay. A few videos earlier this year, but really started using it in August. Okay, that's what he's talking about for my first podcast. I never used to consume YouTube Shorts before, but a good idea just to kind of learn what's going on. Okay, so what is his channel about? It is, I know a lot of things I need to improve. Packaging, okay, we got that. All right, well, okay.
What if I told you that the number one fear that stops people from building wealth, the fear of a stock market crash?
Okay, where's our thumbnail here? Let me go to
It's in the right there. Is your portfolio safe? But anyway, go to videos. First thing's definitely going to be the thumbnail.
Yeah. So my first comment on the thumbnail is it's good you've got yourself in here, Nico, but you've got to put that picture into a filter. You got to have more light on it. It's too dark. It's way too dark because you got to realize that when people are scrolling through very quickly on their phone or their computer, you need something that's going to pop and stand out to them. And actually, one YouTube channel that we're going to use as an example of what to do today, you're going to see how they actually have very colorful thumbnails, but I guarantee you they put them into Photoshop or something like that.
Yeah, let me show you
more colorful.
Pretty much how everyone does it, and I will just show you what he means. So all you do for this is if you're in Canva, you are literally just going to click on the person, which you can do. You've clearly already done that. All you do is edit it, adjust, and you can increase the brightness, and pretty much instantly the thumbnail looks substantially better and it pops out. And that would fix your CTR almost instantly, just increasing the facial awareness on yourself.
But it improve it, I think is a better way to say it. Okay, so now let's go back to the video itself.
Stock market crash.
Let me just.
What if I told you that the number one fear that stops people from building wealth, the fear of a stock market crash?
You got to project more. You got to grab people's attention. You don't have to yell at them, but you really have to grab their attention in the first, 5 seconds. And it's good, Nico, that you're doing B-roll.
What if
this is what I would consider B-roll. And then you've got this
told you that the number one fear
animation. I mean, that's all really good, but make sure that you are editing with a purpose, especially in the first 15 and 30 seconds of the video. So this, I get why you're doing this. You're talking about fears. You're just showing a picture of someone being afraid. This works okay. It's better than nothing in the middle of a video when people are actually hooked and they're still watching and they're just kind of, zoning out. So subconsciously they see this and it keeps their eye engaged. But when you do this in the first 15 or 30 seconds, it doesn't have that same impact. And since it's not as purposeful as I would like. Josh, go ahead and add something to that, and then I'm going to give an example of what I would prefer to see.
Yeah, so I would just say what you really want is something that adds validity to what you're saying and adds additional context. A random photo of someone being fearful is not an additional reason why someone could click. When you're saying the number one fear, if you had a news headline of someone discussing or a news headline showing that 85% of people biggest fear is a stock market crash, that would add a layer to the video, making it why someone would want to continuously watch. This is more of a distraction in a lot of ways.
Or you might not even want to do that. Look, his title is your portfolio still safe? So if some in 5 strategies for peace of mind in today's market. So just the title and the thumbnail, it's going to, if you're clicking on it, you are afraid.
Yeah.
So I'm already afraid. Like that's
yeah,
why
it might be a hook problem.
Yeah, you don't need to tell me that the number one problem is people are afraid. I get it. That's why I'm clicking on the video. So instead of doing that, maybe, I mean, I hate to say this, but making them more afraid than they already are. Like, you thought you were afraid before, but check this out. You really need to be afraid. Or a better way of saying that is you're just increasing the curiosity or increasing the amount of tension that they had after they clicked the video and have yet to see the first 15 seconds.
Yeah, I think the hook really needs to confirm why they clicked. You're going on a slightly different topic, and so if for the hook you really need to confirm why you clicked. I think a much better, instead of because the video is your portfolio safe, and then the strategies you're going to be going over to improve that. And in the thumbnail, I like the idea of the 60-40 portfolio is dead. I don't really like the execution of it, but that mix of the title and thumbnail does add additional curiosity, because you have people that have the 60-40 portfolio concerned if the stock market is going to crash, and then they're going to get additional strategies besides that could work well moving forward. But you need to show them what their pain points are, and then what a better future looks like a lot quicker.
Yeah, and also I think another way to approach that would be, okay, I'm already afraid. You don't need to tell me the number one thing for investors is fear. I'm afraid. That's why I clicked on the video. So what you're doing is you're telling me 5 strategies for peace of mind in today's market. So I think a better approach would also be, if the very first thing that you said is whatever people believe to be true, tell them that it's not. So buy and hold investing, if you buy and hold investing, you're guaranteed to lose all your money. I wouldn't say that literally, but giving them that message. So the first thing that you do is you have a chart from 2000 to 2010. Say, look, if you would have bought and hold like everyone tells you to do from 2000 to 2010, you would have actually lost money. And I haven't even included inflation. So, and then maybe go to another thing, that if you just are investing in a passive index fund, here's why there's a high probability you're going to lose money. So whatever you do, you can't use these strategies. You have to use my strategies that are much different. And that's what I'm going to reveal to you right now.
That's also the start of a killer VSL, or video sales letter.
Yeah, right. Okay, so let's keep going here.
That stops people from building wealth. The fear of a stock market crash could actually become your greatest advantage. It sounds crazy, I know, but stay with me. That same fear held me back for years. I was so scared of losing money that I stuck to safe investment like GICs, and because of it, I missed out on years of powerful stock market growth. That all changed when I discovered the world of stock options. For a long time, they were a secret reserved for professional traders. But today, they are accessible to everyday investors like you and me. Now, I've been using these strategies for years, and along the way, I've made expensive mistakes and learned valuable lessons. And that's why I'm making this video, to share with you what I've learned so you can avoid making those expensive mistakes.
Okay, you got to get into it. You're already 49 seconds in, Nico, and you're just explaining why you did this. You're right. People don't care. They just don't care. Okay, you've got your backstory. That's fine, and that's relevant. But what you should be doing is you should be starting with just give them why they should be more afraid, or why what they're doing right now, there's no way it'll work. And then go right into your 5 strategies. And while you're delivering the value there, while you're delivering while you're explaining your 5 strategies, incorporate your personal story into it. So I'm not saying don't tell your personal, but incorporate it into the meat of the content, so people feel like you've given them a reason, you've hooked them more tension, and then now you're delivering. So now this is what I want to see. I want to see the 5 strategies. But now, let's see how far we go until you get into the strategies.
You are in the right place if you value your time, because I only focus.
But I'm not in the right place if I value my time, because you're already a minute into it and you're not telling me the 5 secrets. Like if you valued my time, Nico, you'd already be telling me the secrets. You see, and I'm not trying to be harsh. This is just in people's minds. This is what they're going to be doing. They're going to be like, they're going to be probably using profanity and say, "What am I doing here? I clicked on it for the 5. Give me the damn 5 strategies, for heaven's sake." I don't want to.
It's the exact same thing when you click on a video to fix your pipe in your room, and the first 25 minutes of the video is somehow about this dude's life, and it's about every single thing besides what the tutorial as to what you were trying to solve. And so that's the same way you should treat these videos. If you get angry watching those, everyone else is angry watching your videos.
Yeah, but to be very clear, that's not to say that you don't want to share your personal story, or you don't want to. Yeah, I wouldn't tell people time value, but it's you have to incorporate that into when you're delivering the secrets or the 5 strategies. Let's keep going.
Focus on the 20% that will give you 80% of the results. And stick around, because later in the video, I'll explain why the 60-40 portfolio your parents relied on isn't so safe anymore.
No, you should have told me that in the first 2 seconds. That should have been the hook.
My promise to you is simple. By the end of this video, you will not just understand, but you will know how to execute 5 strategies to limit risk and invest it with confidence. This is the knowledge that gives you true peace of mind.
Yeah, see, this is just, now we're a minute 18. There's no way, Nico, you will have lost 80% of your viewers, 70% probably, at least by this point. And now don't get me wrong, there's a lot I like about this. So let's go over that. What I love about this is you're understanding the concept of B-roll. It needs work, it needs polishing, but you're understanding the fact that you can't just sit there in front of a camera like this and just sit there and talk and nothing and expect to get views. Now, I do that in the Rebel Capitalist videos, but you got to keep in mind, I've been doing this quite a while, and I can grab people's attention and keep grabbing them. That's one of the reasons why Josh is the producer in the background, and he's switching up the screenshots as I'm going from chart to chart to chart. And one of the reasons, and Josh probably knows this, but one of the reasons why I'll switch around, I'll go to a chart, I'll talk about it for 10 seconds, and I'll be like, oh, actually, let's go to this one first. And I'll be like, okay, let's go back. I'll read another paragraph or another part of the chart. And I'll be like, oh, well, now we got to go to the calendar. I keep going back and forth. I feel people probably think I've got ADD. The reason I'm doing that conceptually is the same reason why you're adding B-roll to this, to keep the eye focused, right? So although your editing and your B-roll needs polishing, you're understanding why that's important. And that puts you ahead of 99% of the beginners out there. Josh?
And I would say every single person that I've ever helped has 3 issues. It's almost never the content is bad. I mean, it's not that their information sucks. It's almost always experts in some niche or some field that is stuck like you are, where you're getting a few hundred views and you're wondering, why are you not getting more? And if you look at the back end analytics, it is always going to be the click-through rate, which is your title and thumbnail, which is the first issue that I see with yours. It's not sparking curiosity and tension, making me need to click. It's not visually appealing, forcing me to watch to fulfill that unfulfilled desire. And then the hook is just never good, or it's always dragged out too long. You're not hitting the pain points. You're not getting to the point quick enough. It's almost, that was the first thing I fixed for every single person to take you from a few hundred views to a few thousand views.
Yeah, that's the low-lying fruit.
It's the 80-20 rule that you're talking about in this video, where if you focus 80% of your time on the title, thumbnail, and hook, you are going to get 80% of the results.
Yeah. And Nico, here's another quick tip before we get in the rest of your video. None of this matters. So I don't know how much time you took to do this, but just whatever time you take, eliminate that and allocate it to the title, thumbnail, and the things that Josh talked about.
The one thing you should do, you should have one thing in your description, which is that book a call funnel, what you're trying to do, apply my free investment strategy session with me. That should be the only thing in your description. If your goal is to get calls, you want as little things of that people can see. So all they know is book a call with you. There shouldn't be anything else.
Yeah, totally agree. Another thing I'm going to add before we move on, Nico, is just keep going. Just keep doing this. Keep doing this. Get in the reps. Get in the reps. Get in the reps. Because right now, I'm sure you feel this. You're a little stiff, maybe a little awkward. You're kind of quiet. Totally understandable. Everyone's like that when they begin. The only way that you can get out of that is just repetition, just doing it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And if you can just force yourself to do this and try to bump up the energy, and then bump up the energy to the point where it's way too much, and then dial it back to somewhere in the middle to where it's the sweet spot, to where it's perfect. That's what you got to do. But it's unfortunately, no one's going to be good right out of the gate. And the only way that you can learn that, the only way that you can improve on your delivery is just getting in the reps. And so if you compare your delivery here to maybe my delivery on like a whiteboard video or a Rebel Capitalist live stream, you can tell the difference. And again, it's not because I'm better than you or anything like that. It's just because I've put in the reps. So you've got to be okay with sucking. I always say that. Because it's the only way that you can get from A to B to where you yourself make the video even more engaging.
Something that you actually helped me with a ton that now I tell a lot of the clients that I'm helping is I was about to be speaking on stage at one of my clients, Ken McElroy, which is a friend of ours, is live event, and George could visually see that I was nervous and anxious because I was sweating. I was like, oh my god, I am terrified right now. And so he was like, dude, you got to chill out. He was like, if you want a quick tip that's actually going to reduce your anxiety and make it to where you sound more natural, just go do 50 jumping jacks, because once you get your energy up, that's going to allow you to speak with way less anxiety. And so I did that. And then I went.
The reason you do that is not to get your energy up. It's to release the nervous energy.
Yeah. The nervous energy. But doing that before you start to record, as well as standing up, tones down your kind of like producer's voice. What a lot of people do, they sound very natural when they're having a conversation with someone, but then once they get on camera, they sound like they're really just trying to present something. And that presenter's voice takes all the authenticity away, which makes people know you, like you, and trust you, and eventually buy from you. So you need to focus on sounding as natural, but also energized. And so just coaching people, I have them do that if they have a hard time sounding natural on camera, and it almost fixes everything right away.
Yeah. Another thing I'd suggest, Nico, I can tell you're reading off a script, or you've got this scripted. Try doing a few videos with no script. I mean, just wing it, improv it. Just maybe have a couple outlines, or try doing a couple live streams to where you can't have a script and you can't edit it. You can't edit out a mistake. And, you're not getting that many views right now. So it's a perfect time to practice. And the more live streams you do, the more comfortable you get like that, the better your delivery is going to be. And that's one of the main reasons I started doing live streams to begin with, because I was doing, the whiteboard videos were great. They were crushing it. But when I was going on other people's podcasts, I was getting my message across, and it was very popular. We're getting a lot of views. People were enjoying it, but I wasn't happy with the way I was communicating my ideas. I thought I should be a better communicator. And so I thought, well, let's just do live streams, because that's going to put me, it's a baptism by fire every single day. And I can't stop and start again. And so I need to learn to be able to communicate my thoughts very, very clearly the first time. And again, it came through practice, repetition. So I might suggest that just doing some live streams without the script and just winging it, just to get in those reps. And then when you do the scripted, you're going to be a lot better, a lot more animated.
All right, so let's dive into our first strategy, which in my opinion is one of the most simple and elegant way to reduce your investment risk. I call it how to control high-price stocks for a fraction of the cost. To understand this, we're going to start with a simple analogy that has nothing to do with stocks, real estate. Imagine you want to buy a house that costs $500,000. You think it's a great deal, but you're not ready to commit that much capital today. So you make a deal with the owner. You pay them $5,000 for the option to buy that house for $500,000 anytime within the next year. Let's break down the terms because they are important. The five.
What do you think about this? I mean, this is decent, but I'd like it to be a little bit more straightforward to someone, or a little bit more easily digestible for a noob. But what do you think, Josh?
I actually kind of like this. I like the idea of using analogies. I think you used a complex analogy. If you used it where it was a smaller numbers where people could understand, like if it was like a burger from your friend, like, hey, or something that's not going to expire, like obviously a burger you can't do, but instead of it being something expensive, something that's more tangible for people to understand. I love, this is the first B-roll that I think adds to the video of you have the value. You show them like, hey, these are the definitions that you need to know from the options of strike price, of expiry, of premium, and current value. But this doing this is almost more complicated than explaining a stock option, because no one would ever put a $5,000 contract to buy a house for $500,000 in 1 year. And so I think it would just be easier to explain the option. I think it would be better to make it a more simple analogy.
Look at Hormozi's webinar that he did the other day. He was using like stick figures, and he got that from Brunson. And if you look at my whiteboard videos, I'm explaining very, very complicated things, but I'm using stick figures, and I'm using Moody the Millennial, and your friend and family member Fred, or your drunk insolvent Uncle Sam. There's a reason why that works so well. And I'm not saying use stick figures, but the more you can simplify this by using small numbers, the more you can simplify it by using just very, very basic drawings and very basic terminology, like third grade language, the better it's going to be.
Yeah, so the big things on this video before we go into the next channel, the biggest asymmetry that you're going to have is just the title thumbnail hook. You clearly know what you're talking about, that the information is good, that the energy could be slightly improved in the tonality. But if you spent most of your time with what the title, thumbnail, and hook were going to be, you would instantly see much better results.
And just get into it. You got to get into it. You can tell the story, you can give all that intel or information, but you've got to do it while you're explaining the thing or the reason that people clicked on the video to begin with. And that's that's I'm scared, and you make them more scared ethically. And then you in the first 5 seconds, and then once you're in second number 6, bam, you're straight into the 5 strategy number 1, boom, and then go into it, and then explain your story throughout the strategies using B-roll like this. But if we could refine this further and make it even more simple, use smaller numbers, that would be even better. So I would focus on that, getting in the reps, doing a few live streams, and then get back to us in a month or so. And I think you're going to see a dramatic improvement.
Yeah, right away, send your title thumbnail ideas to the school community, and I'll also do my best to review them. Let's go on to the next channel.
Yeah, I got to switch up the screen share.
And so while George is doing that, I'll show you guys a quick tool that I wish we were sponsored by, but we are not. If you want to, we'll take it. I use this every single day. This is called ViewStats, which is Mr. Beast's product, which allows you to search outlier thumbnails and titles. And so if you want a topic to figure out if it's a good channel, if it's a good video or not, I just searched up, is your portfolio safe? 5 strategies that work, and quickly got a bunch of videos that have hundreds of thousands of views that I can take inspiration from when I'm building the title thumbnail. You can even see, hey, what did this person do for his hook that allowed him to get 540,000 views? And you could reverse engineer what the top videos in these ideas look like and try and make the best video possible.
Okay, let's go back to the school community. See who's next. All right, so now we're on Tane's channel, the one that he shared with us. So we've got 378 subscribers. Let's look at the most recent video. He has a whistleblower worth hearing. Okay. First mistake you're making, Tane, is you're replicating the thumbnail and the title. The thumbnail and the title is a huge opportunity to grab people's attention, and the interplay between the two. And if you're just replicating the title and the thumbnail, if they're one and the same, or just they're redundant, then you're just wasting all of that real estate that you could leverage to really build curiosity and build the tension.
Another thing is going to be the thumbnail. You darken the face when they should be lighter, and you put the guest name first when it should be at the end. Most people you don't want to emphasize the person, because if someone already knows who the person is, then they're more incentivized to watch. You want to incentivize the topic and the idea and curating curiosity and tension. Tane was an incredible copywriter at Agora. If you don't know, you should take those same copywriter skills. That's really all it is, convincing someone to watch a YouTube video as it is direct response copywriting to purchase a product. And so you're hitting those same psychological pain points and curiosity drivers that you would when you're writing an email that you are for a YouTube title and thumbnail.
Yeah, you have to ask yourself, Tane, if you were writing copy for Agora, would you ever name let's say a video sales letter or a long form sales letter? Would you ever use the left-hand path, taking the left-hand path? No, that's not. No one even knows what that is. That's you're not going to do that. Or even here with Doug, the original international man of adventure of going global, on the adventure of going global. You would never ever put that in the copy, or at least in the headline, the attention grabber for one of the things that you're writing for Agora. There's no way. Most interesting man in the world. I don't care. Or the whistleblower worth hearing. That's maybe a little bit better, but you get what we're saying here. So you've got to take those copywriting skills and the same concepts, and instead of using that in a long form sales letter, you have to use that in the thumbnail and the title. And another thing that you would never ever do in a long form sales letter is, would you ever have the title and the subtitle one and the same? Would you ever do that? The answer is no. Of course you wouldn't do that, because there needs to be an interplay between the title and the subtitle. And you're wasting valuable real estate by making them redundant. That's exactly what you're doing with the title and the thumbnail.
Yeah,
exactly.
YouTube is very similar psychology as just like paid ads, where you are trying to convince someone to buy something, and what they are buying is your video, and your product is the video. And so you need, once they buy, to confirm why they made such a good decision as quickly as possible, to then you're upselling them to continuously watch you. And if you thought about it like that, you would instantly crush, as well as you can't even see the people. So if you fix the lighting and have like just both of your faces a lot clearer, or even just the guest, if you want to highlight them, and more words, a quote style works very good for thumbnails. If you look at someone like Diary of a CEO, they get millions and millions of views for their interviews. A lot of it is the interplay between the title and the thumbnail and how you exacerbate tension.
And let's go over there real quick. So,
Diary of a CEO.
Yeah. Right. I mean, even the look on Matthew McConaughey's face.
That's another thing. The screenshots that you want to use, you want the facial expression to exacerbate whatever emotion that you're trying to portray. I mean, that is one of the easiest, lowest hanging fruit. So if we're making thumbnails for George's whiteboard videos and it's Warren Buffett, you want Warren Buffett to have the facial expression that you want expressed in the viewer, or that you're trying to have him showing that he's scared, that he's nervous, that he's concerned about whatever's happening.
Yeah. I mean, look at this. The silent crisis no one is talking about. Yeah. Like, what? Huh? And it's Matthew McConaughey, and you got some red devil looking guy in the middle. Like, you're already like, whoa, what's going on here? So that now I want to read the title. Matthew McConaughey. Everyone knows who he is. So that would be an example. And actually, I would say this is something they did wrong. I was going to say that's okay because everyone knows him, but no, you know him for the title, so put his name at the end. But you don't need to have his name at the beginning. That's just,
and he's already in the thumbnail, so you already know that
and
he's
you already
in the
know
video.
who he is by looking at him. So I would say the
Can you go to the videos really quickly? What the Diary of a CEO does so well that I've started to incorporate.
This is terrible. Look at this. They repeated. They did the exact same thing that Tane is doing. The silent crisis known as no. So why this video did well, if it is going to do well, is because of the interplay between the thumbnail and I sabotaged my own career. If they could just take out everything, they take out Matthew McConaughey, take out the silent crisis no one is talking about in the title, and just use that thumbnail with I sabotaged my own career.
Yeah, I think
I sabotaged my own career because of this.
Yeah, that would do way better.
That would have done way better.
Can you go to videos? And so if you have a podcast channel, something that I've seen that I've tested and it works exceptionally well, especially when a lot of people know who it is, what they'll say, like, look at the #1 money experts do not buy a house. And so a lot of people know who that is. That's Raoul Pal. That's another money guy. I've seen all three of those people before, but they're giving all of the validity to these people by calling them whatever it is, the AI safety expert, the world's #1 fasting expert, former CEI spy, or CIA spy. They're giving all the credibility this person needs without saying their name. And so
a lot of the times that a lot of people they have on there, people don't know.
Even if they do know, a lot of people know who Raoul Pal is. They're still calling him the money expert to reach a broader audience. And then if you do know who he is, you see him in the thumbnail. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. And here they put, I don't know why they put Matthew and Dalio. That this is just, I mean, it just goes to show you that even at this level, there's room for improvement.
Yeah. And so I think that I bet that if we clicked on Tane's video, the hook is not going to be the first question, it's not going to be what the title thumbnail is about. It's probably going to be too long of an intro before they get into the meat of the content. And those are the three things that you need to fix as well, Tane. But I don't know. Let's finish Tane's video or click on it and see how it looks.
Okay. So let's look at this one. So the whistleblower worth hearing.
Welcome back to the Expat Files. Tane Nix here. My special guest today is a gentleman that I know virtually.
I don't care, Tane. I immediately, I don't care how you know him.
I don't care that you're Expat Files or Tane either.
Yeah. Yeah.
And bravery, I would say, and his willingness to speak up, I greatly admire. And so this will be for some people very controversial, but that's why we're doing it.
You should have said that that should have been the very first thing that you said, Tane. This is going to be very controversial. Now, it just reminds me that even in my interviews, I'm not doing this well. There's a lot of room for me to improve my own videos because even with those, I'm starting out. Hello, fellow Rebel Capitals. That's okay for branding and community building, but I shouldn't be doing that. I should be getting right into it with this hook. So that we're at the 21-second mark, and that should have been your first line, right? Let's just rewind a little bit.
Be for some people very controversial.
Okay, for some people, this is going to be very controversial. Boom. That should have been your very first line,
But that's why we're doing it. And that's why we do this podcast, is to bring some different thinking and alternative views. And certainly it's one thing to listen to somebody who may or may not have the kind of clout and credentials to share thoughts that you're about to hear, but that is not the case today. And so my guest today is Mads Palsvig. Welcome, Mads. Thanks very much for being on. I appreciate your time.
Thanks very much, Tane. It's a pleasure to meet you here today.
You as well.
We got to get into the content, Tane.
Yeah, it's 50 minutes.
This is going to be, almost a minute. This is going to be extremely controversial for some of you out there. But on that note, let's get right into it. Mads.
And then whatever the first question is.
Yeah. What do you think about, what just happened to blah, 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 or what just happened to the stock market crash. And then, oh, well, thank you, Tane, let's get into it, blah, 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 blah. And then after that, you can say, okay, wow, that's incredible. And for those of you who don't know, Mads is one of the foremost experts on technical analysis. You see? So now we're doing that. What I'll do, and again, this is me just suboptimal, is I'll say, hello, fellow Robo Capitalists. I'm back with my good friend Robert Barnes. I'll say, we got a lot to talk about, don't we? What do you think about what's going on with Epstein and Trump? And then boom, getting right into it. But that's, like I said, I shouldn't be doing that. So learn from my mistakes as well.
Why don't you kick
the rest of this is going to be pretty straightforward.
And the biggest thing is there is no reason to watch this video. A whistleblower worth hearing. What am I hearing about?
What is he whistleblowing about?
There's not a single concept that I'm even interested in because I don't know what the video is about.
I don't know what he's whistleblowing about. Like, is he whistleblowing about Epstein? Is he whistleblowing about the medicines during the cerveza sickness? Is he whistleblowing about Putin? Like, what is it?
It doesn't matter. I'm confused, and I'm a minute into the video now, and I still don't know what the video is going to be about. And so, if I did somehow click on it, I wouldn't even know why I should stay.
Yeah. Oh, he's a bond trader.
Definitely wouldn't have expected that with the title thumbnail.
Central banks. Wow. Why are we not saying that right at the beginning, Tane? So this is
treat it exactly how you would a VSL. Every single video and interview and psychology. Let's go on to the third one, which is actually we probably have the most tips for.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let's shoot back to the school community, Josh. And who is next up on the chopping block?
I'm excited because we keep on telling you guys that it does not matter what your niche is. You could literally be talking about anything like farming. And that is our next niche that we are about to crush the farming niche with this guy.
And this
I'm excited.
Great niche.
Sempre.
This is such a great niche. Okay, hello. I made a channel, Low Skill Farmer. Great idea.
Yeah.
As a documentary of my own journey from suburbs to farming. Oh, this is such a good idea.
I love this guy so much. I don't even know what you look like, but I love this.
This is such a good idea for a YouTube channel where people like me can see how anyone can go from 0 to owning 12 ducks, 12 chickens, and even 8 cows.
In the suburbs? Come on. You are going to crush.
This is so good. So good, my friend. You got a tiger by the tail here. Okay. So we've got Muscovy ducklings growth, hours to 7 days old. That's interesting.
The thumbnail does not confirm that. If you had like the hatchling and then the 7 days old, if you had like the split screen, like the hours old, and then on the right side the 7 day old to show the progress, I mean this already got 27,000 views, but the channel that we're going to compare yours to would instantly add a lot more color and have before and after.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I do. I'd put the before on the left after, so you got a little egg that's cracking and it says today or something, and then over on the right it says 7 days, and you've got a little super cute looking duck with all these bright colors, high contrast. It's like, doing something cute or something that people like. I don't know if I'd go with Muscovy ducklings because I don't know. I'm assuming that's the type of a duck. And now if your niche was different, then I would. But your niche is low skill farmer and people that are just in the suburbs doing this. So those people, I would guess, maybe I'm wrong, but I would guess that they don't really know what the hell a Muscovy duck is. So just, world's cutest ducklings growth, or something like that.
Oh my God. With that title thumbnail, you might get 11 million views. I'm looking at some competitors. There's literally a video right now that I'm looking at that has 10 million views of just amazing 50 ducklings hatching from eggs. And it's just a cute thumbnail. But anyway,
this is such a great idea for a YouTube channel. Okay, let's see the hook here.
As you can see, these ducklings are hours old. The mom is very brave, protecting her babies with a lot of love and compassion and fierceness. There they are. The light's shining in. You can see them.
Okay, that's the first 17 seconds. What do you think, Josh?
I had to take off my glasses because I was confused as to what was going on. And so that confusion is not really what I'm looking for. So I think if you had B-roll,
Because you're looking at them through the box.
Yeah, it's just tough to see on the eyes. What I think would do a lot better would be having a lot more B-roll and voiceover and discussing the concept of what you want to talk about and say, hey, here is a duck at 1 hour old. And then I would probably cut to here's the 7-day-old and then take them through the transitional journey. But lower effort, I think just making it easier to see.
Yeah, I agree, but I want to be clear. I don't, this is not that bad. This intro, first of all, the thing I love, compare this delivery to Nico's, right? Remember Nico's, it was, but listen to this gentleman, the low skill farmer. Listen, you immediately like him. Yeah. Because he sounds like someone that's really cool. It's totally relaxed. It's not stiff. It's effortless. It seems very authentic.
As you can see, these ducklings are hours old. The mom is very brave.
See the laugh?
Yeah, I can't help but smile because he's just like, he's just so friendly sounding.
Yeah, I think this VO is perfect. This VO is I wouldn't say perfect, but really good. It's just the B-roll.
Or if you had more light in there, I mean, if you had light facing them and we could see them better, then it's like, okay, like this is so fresh that they have to be behind the cage. The mother's protecting them, but I can see it better.
I just realized this video has 27,000 views.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Okay, so that's that's why, because you're doing a lot of things right here. Let's keep going.
Protecting her babies with a lot of love and compassion and fierceness. There they are. The light's shining in. You can see them. Can't get a count of them, but there's a lot. I also found one egg that I think is a dud, but I'll give it 2 days in case it's not to hatch. But these little guys are literally hours old. The smallest things in the world.
All right, now
they're going to grow big. So we'll give them a chance.
Now you got to get into it.
Good job, Mom. Her name is 80. She's the second Muscovy here. She did very well. I believed in her.
Okay, almost. I would have got into a different shot at around 30 seconds.
Yeah.
These ducklings were born yesterday.
Now we're going to show you in the next one.
Yeah, so now what he's doing is he's reiterating what he just did.
Yeah,
these ducklings were born. You already did that.
Now, because the mom is so protective, she's keeping them in the nest, keeping them warm and safe. I'm not able to get a count yet, but I think there may be 16 of them.
Jeez.
Or 15. They look very lively. Again, born yesterday, so today is their first morning here. And I'm assuming they're less than 24 hours old.
Can you pause it for a second?
Yesterday, and I recount again 20.
Mm-hmm.
So for everything, you have to know what the progression of a story is. No story would go. You set it up, you set it up, you set it up, and then you continuously set it up and repeat what you said. There's always some sort of setup where it introduces the world and the characters or the context. And in this case, it's going to be there's a bunch of new ducks. I don't know how many there are, but here's what happened. And then in a normal story, there would be some sort of incident that arises that like an event that disrupts the normal life that forces someone to act. I don't think you're going to do it for here, but you could, in theory, create some sort of unresolved tension that the ducks need to overcome. Like, hey, if they need to start to drink milk or they have to get fed in the first 15 hours, or a lot of ducks in the wild don't make it past that because of XYZ reasons. So then you're creating tension, which takes you to the rise in action, which is another conflict or tension that needs to be overcome. Then you have the climax, and you could then obviously there's the falling action and resolution, but you, with what you're doing, could create sub storylines for every single one of these ducks or for every single one of your animals. And that would be so ridiculously entertaining for the viewer, where you could have hundreds of thousands of super fans. Then of that, you could monetize it by teaching other people how to do the exact same thing. Here's how you can get your first 6 ducks.
Yeah, not even doing that. We're going to show you guys a channel that I would strongly suggest learning from, Mr. Low Skill Farmer. He's doing something very similar. And one of the brilliant things that he did is he named all of his animals, and he gives you like an update as to how they're doing on each video, to where it's just like The Office, where you want to tune in to see what Jim is doing, or Pam, or Dwight, or Michael Scott. And it's like the same. You want to tune in to see what Bobby the deer is doing or whatever. And so, and what you should be doing here is we've got these shots. That's cool, but you should be cutting a lot faster. You should be cutting a lot faster in there, and then just doing that VO on top of it. Let's
and then one other thing, just focus on having slightly better lighting. Like if you had a little unnatural light that you could show on it to make it easier to see, that would instantly increase the enjoyment factor from the viewer.
Yeah.
Mom with.
Oh, see, that's great, because the mom's getting pissed at you. That's great. But it'd be great if she had a name. So you like.
I think that he did give it a name. That's a great thumbnail too. And then
exactly. Yeah. By the way,
if you want low effort and something that seems raw and authentic, this duck looks like it's gonna jack you up if you don't take a few steps back.
Great thumbnail. Great thumbnail. So I'm assuming he just does this throughout the video. Okay, let's look at and you're showing your face here. That's good. I like that. Very good. Very good. So it's not just a VO. He's showing his face here.
Was pretty amazing to first see 14 ducklings hatch from.
Great. I strongly approve of that. Let's actually look at a more recent video.
Misgendering chickens. These ones are getting a little bit confusing. And the title thumbnail interplay is not really sparking curiosity. With the one video that you had that had the 27,000 views, there was still curiosity saying, hey, what happens between ducks between hours old to 7 days old? That it drives tension to where I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'd like to see that. A lot of these.
Yeah, like this one. If Churchill had to protect chickens from coyotes, I don't. Like, where are we?
It's more so confusing.
What that is.
Or so I've earned cow's trust. If you just did how to earn a cow's trust, that would instantly spark curiosity and be like, what? I don't even know what this means. And then the thumbnail was you trying to pet it and it getting like skittish or something like that. And then just like have like easy or it's simple. That would instantly spark curiosity instead of not knowing why. There always has to be a reason why someone is going to click. They're not just going to watch your video because you're on a farm.
And I also like this. If this 12 by 12 cow shelter do it yourself, if you had already introduced all of the animals in as characters in your TV show, and then you're doing this, but while you're doing it, you're giving updates on all the characters in your TV show, the animals on your farm. And so then you make it more fun, and there's got to be a story here, that you can't just tell them how to do a 12 by 12 foot cow shelter. You've got to say, hey, I'm doing a 12 by 12 cow shelter. This is how you do it. I had the hay bales, or I had the steel show up, and it was 12 days late, and there was this storm that came in, and so here's the storm, but it passed. So then what we had to do is this. So then if you're doing this at home, you've got to make sure that you watch out for the storms. And oh, by the way, here's Susie the duck. Remember, she bit me in the last episode. Well, now she's my friend. But, and going through it like that. And so let's give an example of how to do that really, really well, Josh. I'm going to
just search it. And so what I would do if I were you, a low-skilled farmer, is just study this channel at nighttime. Just watch every single one of their videos.
I would watch hours of this guy's video and just ask myself and just reverse engineer it and ask,
that's exactly,
why is this good? Why is this good? Why is this good?
And so then what you can say to yourself, like, why are they cutting here? What made this
part? Do I need to do a new screen share, or can I just play it? Okay.
Yep, you can just play it. We'll be good to go. And so the way that you properly study a channel is just by whenever something is entertaining or engaging to you, think about like, why was that entertaining? Why did they cut? How did this make the video progress? And something that every single person that we've reviewed across every one of our series is always title thumbnail. Just look at your past watch history. See the types of videos that you watch. Why does it spark curiosity and attention to you? And why did you watch that video? And how can you take that same psychology and implement that for your channel?
Okay, so this channel is called Bama Bass, as in Alabama, Bama Bass. And his niche is for people that want to have their own pond on their property. So if you have 10 acres or whatever, and you're like, wow, I would like to build my own pond, this is your channel. And so that every single episode is going to cater and give some details, some intel, some tips on if you have your own pond or you want to build your own pond, this is going to be applicable to you. But when he's doing that, he's going through and sharing the story, sharing the details of, you know, his buddies on the farm. It just, you'll see. But the first thing
this
here,
channel is also the perfect example of how many people in the world have a pond that they could do this with. I can guarantee you it's not 600,000 in America that speak English, but how is he getting so many views? And that's just expanding your total market cap. And it's proof that no matter what your niche is, it's not too boring. There's always a way to make it interesting and engaging.
But here's the secret there, Josh. His TAM is way bigger than people who just want a pond because of the storytelling in his videos.
Yeah, exactly.
So let me share a story with you. The way I came across this channel to begin with is when I jacked up my shoulder, and for like a week I could not get off the couch, and I, you know, just doctor's orders, I had to rest it. So I was bored out of my mind, and I'm like, well, I'll just try to be somewhat productive by watching YouTube. And I don't even know how it came up, but somehow this channel came up, and I saw the number of views, and I'm like, what? I'm like, how is this guy talking about a pond in his backyard? How is he getting millions of views? What is going on here? So I watched a video, and within 3 minutes, I was like hooked. And I'm like, okay, now I get it, number one. But then I went and watched like 20 videos back to back to back, not because I was interested in how he was getting the views, but I wanted to see what was happening with like Woody the Owl or whatever it's. And the guy's voice the guy sounds exactly like Mr. Anderson from Beavis and Butthead, which I think is the same guy that does the Family Guy voiceover. So that was entertaining. But it's like, here, let's just watch. So first and foremost,
off, the thumbnails and titles.
Boom. Look at the colors. And I guarantee you he enhances those, obviously.
Those are enhanced.
Those are in Photoshop. Those are super contrast, really bright colors. Like you could imagine scrolling through there, and that's gonna catch your eye, right? And then when he's doing something like this, when you've got an alligator, it's obvious that this is a homemade pond just by the aerial drone shot. And so then you've got this giant alligator and an arrow pointing to the pond. That's all he has to do. And you're like, whoa, what? This guy in his homemade pond has an alligator? What? It says alligators at the 5-acre pond. That's it. That's it. And I don't even think he would have had to say alligator, Josh. He would have had big surprise at the 5-acre pond, and it would have been even better, right? Because now you want to know, well, what's the surprise? Is the surprise the alligator, or is that part of the surprise? Is it something different? So then it really builds that curiosity and that tension. But let's see how this starts off here.
Folks at home, welcome back to the Crimson Oak Pond, home of the aggressive tiger bass. And their aggression is going to be on full display here because we've had some really exciting things happen at the 5-acre pond. And
okay, see. So now you got to put yourself in the mindset of someone that would actually want their own pond. Because if you're not one of those guys or gals, you're probably like, what do I care about a tiger bass? But trust me, if you're one of the people that want their own pond, you're like totally into like the tiger bass. And look at how much B-roll. Look at how many times he's cut just in the first, call it 10 seconds. Let's count it.
Folks at home, welcome back to the Crimson Oak Pond.
Look, he's got movement. Did you notice that, Josh? He's got movement in the shot. Very, very important. Now we're going to 2.
Home of the aggressive tiger.
He's got movement there, not just movement, but this big splash. And whoever wants their own pond, oh my gosh, the fish are jumping. And in their minds, they're like, why would you want your own pond? Oh my gosh, I could just go into my backyard with my kids and go fishing every single night. It would be so awesome and blah, blah, blah. And he's showing you kind of part of what your fantasy is, while at the same time doing those cuts. We've already had about 2 of them, I think. But he's getting motion in there, which is really grabbing your attention. And he's got a bit of a sound effect in there, which is going to grab your attention even more.
Your bass. And their aggression is going to be on full display here because we've had some really.
Their aggression is going to be on full display. This is a great example of B-roll with a purpose. He's not just showing a picture of like a mean bass or like a cartoon character bass or something like that. He's cutting to them, not to them being wildly aggressive. I mean, you can see the minnows or whatever that are splashing, trying to get the hell out of there. So he's showing them being aggressive as he's saying that, and then he's using that as a hook to say, hey, you want to stay for the video, without having to say that, because you're going to see this amazing stuff. Let's keep on.
Really exciting things happen at the five.
So many exciting things happened at the pond. We're 8 seconds in. We're 8 seconds in, and he's done all of this already. And notice all the motion in this shot as well.
Yeah, and he starts with the drone to where you can see the entire pond, and then he goes on a super small frame of an actual fish, and then it's more mid-framed. So he has 3 different zoom ins and outs, while every single one of those frames have movement in it and drive a purpose. I mean, this is a genius hook for something that you would think is such a stupid channel, and there's so much thought that goes into this.
Yeah, and if you didn't understand the concepts of what he's doing, you probably would have watched this first 8 seconds and you would have been totally unaware of what he was doing, but you'd be like, oh, wow, this is, I'm going to keep, I don't know if I'll watch the whole video, but I'm going to watch another 10 seconds. And that's all the hook is about. Let's keep going here.
5-acre pond. And over the past couple of years, I've learned that the water clarity.
Okay, another thing here that I've got to point out. You've got to think about who is interested in a pond, just living vicariously, or who actually wants one. It's going to be a lot of the people in the South. Listen to this guy's voice. Listen to this guy's accent. He immediately sounds like a next door neighbor that you'd like to go over to his house for like a hot dog roast.
Yeah.
Right?
Or
I mean,
he sounds like a guy that has a pond. And
yeah, like if you just listen to this guy, you'd be like, you know what? I bet that guy has a pond. Or
he's going fishing.
He was into fishing. Yeah.
And so you probably look like the type of character that you are. And so if you're a plumber, you probably look like a plumber. And so you can use that stuff to your advantage and exacerbate it as well and amplify your character.
Accentuate it. I don't know if exacerbate. Accentuate's an even better word there.
Really dictates their mood and feeding habits. And as we've seen, when we come out of the winter months, the water can be crystal clear, but then in the spring, we fertilize the pond to get that good algae bloom, which turns the water olive green.
Look at how many shots he's got. Look at the motion in the shots. Look at, like Josh said, he's doing into a zoom in, he's zooming out, he's doing a mid shot. And even the shots themselves, they have this motion to them every single time. There's no static shot.
And it typically stays like this until around the middle of the
even though there's so there's double motion here, because you've got the motion from the fountain that's drawing your eye, but then he's zooming out at the same time.
Summer. And what's happened the past couple of years in the peak of the summer is that the zooplankton begins feeding on the phytoplankton, and we begin to see that water shift from the olive green color to more of a dark brown color.
And so this is B-roll with a purpose. So now he's talking about it shifting from whatever color to an olive green or a darker color, which is exactly what he's showing in this B-roll while he's got the motion, while he's cutting every 5 seconds.
And this is what you'll see most ponds look like throughout the U.S. most of the year. But we've had a period of 2 to 3 weeks each of the past 2 years where there's an abundance of that zooplankton, and it turns the pond almost a chocolate brown. It makes the pond look like we recently had a flood that muddied up all the water, although that's not the case. And this process doesn't harm the fish, but what I have noticed is during that 2 to 3 week period, it definitely seems to affect the bass's feeding habits. They seem to be a lot more sluggish, and during this time we're not seeing a lot of topwater activity and that typical aggressiveness we see out of the tiger bass. So I'd always been just chalking this up to the dog days of summer, and just assumed the bass were sitting down there in the deep, cool water. Well, what happened this past week was very interesting.
There you go. Open loop. Another, he's giving you that open loop again because he's gone a minute without giving you reference to it.
So George, it has been 1 minute and 26 seconds into this video. How much stuff has gone on compared to the first 3 videos that we went over today?
Exactly.
And so compare this to your channel, and you're obviously not going to be doing this with your channel, but the amount of action and curiosity and enjoyment, I could have just kept on watching this, and I'm sure everyone else kind of got sucked into what he was saying, even though you don't really care.
You don't care about plankton. You don't care.
No.
Like, what's going on with the plankton? Tell me more.
And see what he's selling. And so I don't think we need to watch any more of this guy. But
no, we got to get. Oh, look. So look at the parts that are the most watched.
Yeah.
And
so and most people aren't going to see what you're talking about there. So at the bottom, if you look at George's cursor, if you can see where someone's rewinding or how much they're replaying something with these jumps and these little like white things.
Right here. So let's actually, out of curiosity, let's see what he's doing there. Because remember, every single video, he'll give you little, regardless of what the video is about, once he gets into the mid part of the video, that's when he starts introducing the characters, usually, and telling you what's going on with like his buddy, the coyote or something like that he gives names to, and then he shows, gives you an update. So like this nest right here, I think that's for one of his eagles that he named, and he built him a nest right there. But let's see where most people are watching. So right here, this is probably where the alligator.
All right, now we're back here at the backyard pond, and I was filming some ducks flying by when I noticed something lurking out there in the water, and look who the newest member of this pond is, Mr. Alligator. So the reason...
See, he didn't even say alligator. It's Mr. Alligator. And I guarantee you that if he sees this alligator in a few more videos, he's going to give him a name. I guarantee you.
I came out is because I knew that...
What's that?
Why would you give him a name? And that's because of the primal branding and giving people a reason to come back, and the familiarity. Sorry, it's late here. With your channel and with the content, to what becomes the super fans that just want to watch every single video that you make, regardless of the title or thumbnail, but because they want the content that you are continuously producing.
Yeah, let's keep going.
That the fish feeder was about to go off, and I came down to watch some of those bluegills and turtles feed. And at this point, the alligator was keeping his distance.
So he's telling you a story. See, it's not just, oh, check it out, here's an alligator. Notice he's telling you the story of how he ran into the alligator.
Probably because I was standing out on the dock. But I know that these noises are tempting to him because nothing draws an alligator in quite like splashing water. So I wanted to back away and see what happened. And as soon as I did, he came.
See, now, right now, he's telling you the story. He's telling you that nothing attracts him like splashing. He's showing you turtles splashing. Now he's showing you the alligator starting to swim in. I have to see what happens next. I'm like, what's the alligator going to do? It's going to eat the bluegill? It's going to eat the turtle? You see how this works?
You're not going to
straight line right over there to the dock to investigate those splashes. And this looks like somewhat of a young alligator, but I'm no alligator expert, and we've never really had them in any of our ponds before. Look at this guy trying to shrink down and hide from me. Whenever he shows his full body on the surface like that, he's a little bit bigger than I thought he was. But outside of being a threat to little kids hanging out around the pond, what do you guys think about alligators? Are they fast enough to catch fish like the bluegills? Or what's their primary food source? And what's this guy trying to eat in this pond? If you got experience with gators, give me some ideas in a comment down below. But I'm not very surprised that this alligator showed up in the pond.
See, now
you're going into another story. It's brilliant.
He told the story. Now he's cutting into this other B-roll. Let's go into this other part here that people rewound quite a bit. It's obvious. I think it's great, entertaining. I want to see what happens, but he is so good. This is so good. And what's unfortunate is the people that watch this probably don't even realize why he's so good. And so if you're a YouTuber, you can appreciate this on a whole other level.
The shallow banks are covered with small bluegills in varying sizes. And that means we had a successful spawn, which is great. Now let's go check in on the Bonnie's Value camera.
Bonnie's Value camera. Okay, so you see what he did, Josh. he built this for one of his little wild animals. I don't know what wild. Look, he's got solar on it. He's got solar panels, and I guarantee you, one of the episodes of one of his was him building this.
Yeah,
but he's building it for now. I don't know if this is the animal, the stork or crane or whatever. I don't know if this is the animal that he built it for, but let's rewind here and
way. He capitalizes on the chaos. But one other thing I learned this week is we have an extremely healthy population of bluegills. If you take a lap around the pond, all of the shallow banks are covered with small bluegills in varying sizes. And that means we had a successful spawn, which is great. Now let's go check in on the Bonnie's Bayou camera. Man, look at the neck on that one. I don't see how he fits a fish down it. There's another Mr. Longneck. And I can't tell for sure, but it kind of looks like he caught a baby bass. It could be one of those shiners, but the shape of its tail kind of looks like a bass. And look who decided to stop by right at sunset. Mr. Cardinal, hitting the buffet before it gets dark.
See, dude. And he's got name. You can see these are random animals, so he doesn't have names. Although he had a name for the camera based on the animal. Who knows the backstory there? But everything is little Mr. Cardinal is showing up for a nice little dinner buffet. It's like this is gold. I mean, this.
Can you scroll down and see what he's selling in the description?
I think it's affiliate stuff.
Yeah, so
he's got merch.
Brooklyn.
He's got merch. Which, dude, I guarantee you, he's got merch of his animals, of like the animals he names. Let's check this out. Okay, I'm just going through it here before I. No, he doesn't. Oh my gosh, dude, we need to call this guy. He is. Oh my gosh, he's dude. So here, I know you guys can't see this, but he doesn't. He has the name of his farm. It's just the name of his farm on the T-shirts.
This guy is missing out on millions of dollars per year on the amount of products and services that he could be selling based upon this, the amount of affiliates. I mean, he's quite literally
all the names, the names for the animals he has, the wild animals. He has to make those into a T-shirt about Mr. Cardinal. I mean, let's just say that Mr. Cardinal was a part of every episode. He makes a Mr. Cardinal T-shirt. Oh, here's one thing that he does. It's absolutely genius, Josh. Let's go to. I remember this, but I don't remember exactly what it is. So let's go back here. Oh, he'll show himself fishing again. What's everyone's dream that wants a pond? They want a pond because they want to go out there and just fish whenever they want. So he shows himself doing that and tells a story.
Man, the smallest of the bunch keeps getting it. All right, this little guy's been caught. 570579, weighing in at 1.89 pounds. And hey, look who it is. We caught Saban. It's only the second time we've caught Saban.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So here's what he does. He has a spreadsheet. He goes fishing every night or something like that. And he has a spreadsheet of every single fish that he catches. And what he allows viewers to do is name the fish. And then he tags them somehow. So then if he catches them again, I think you like win some sort of prize. And whoever, I forgot how it all works, but this is why he has a spreadsheet. And this is why he's highlighting this. And I forgot how the competition works, but if your fish after a year or whatever is the biggest fish, the one that you named, then you get a free trip out to the farm to like hang out with him for 2 days.
Oh my God.
Again, just genius level community building here.
And he needs to hit the weight room and beef up a little bit. Probably another schooling bass.
Just this.
I can almost guess exactly what he looks like too. I have no clue what he looks like, but the way he sounds, what he does on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, so let's see if he goes.
He has not been caught.
Oh, he hasn't been caught.
His new tag's going to be 2232301, weighing in at 152.
So I guess he's not part of the spreadsheet, maybe because that was the first time he was caught or something like that. I forgot exactly how it works.
Anyway, we're going way off track here, I think.
I see, but why?
There we
Because I
go.
want to see him catch these fish.
Yeah.
It's like I'm getting it.
Another one that has.
Yeah. We got to stop watching this guy right now. And so
Addictive. It's addictive. Oh, gee. Okay.
So the
but
big
this
things
is
that
just
you
such
should
a
do.
Great example of this is the emotion. This is what you want your videos to create in the viewer. They just want to see the next 10 seconds. But why is he doing it? One of the main reasons he's doing that, guys, is because he's telling stories, he's cutting, and he's putting B-roll with a purpose, but he's cutting like every 5 seconds that goes along with the story that he's telling. And that's from a psychological standpoint. That's why you just want to see the next 10 seconds. You want to see the next 10 seconds. You want to see the next 10 seconds.
So yeah, if you what's low skilled farmer, you should be watching this guy every single night, but it's actually beneficial for everyone on how to drive super fans that don't care what you're talking about. It's really, they are following for the story. And that's why The Office, it starts, people just watch The Office for the theme, but then you fall in love with the characters and you don't care what any video is about because you are watching for the repetible emotions that you feel when you're watching. You know what you're going to get, and you always get the same thing, and that always feels good. Therefore, you watch every single week and you just binge them. And that's how your YouTube channel should relate to the viewers. And you need to know what it is that you're driving from an emotional standpoint.
And his channel, the Bama Bass Guy, is such a great example as to how you need to treat your channel as a TV show and not as a TV channel.
Yeah,
So
Bama Bass started doing like completely random like food reviews and other things. It would not be as hard of him going golfing or doing other things.
We could have watched 5 videos in a row and they would have been the exact same. Different storyline because what's happening that day on the farm, you know, same characters, but it would have been the same TV show, same exact stuff. And so that's just an example of pure unadulterated brilliance. I don't know that guy knows how brilliant he is. I assume he does because I think he's been doing it a long time and he's refined that approach. I don't think that's how he started, but that's just copy every single thing that guy does, but just understand why he's doing what he's doing, because that's some high level stuff right there. Even though it seems incredibly simplistic, it's not. That's not.
If you want your YouTube channel roasted next, and we'll break it down and give you some advice like this one, just go to the free school community, Rebel Capitalist Biz Accelerator. As we are talking, we're getting memberships. So, all right, go there, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right, bye guys.